So let's dive right into the root chakra, Muladhara. Now, Muladhara can be translated to root support. The root chakra is located at the base of the spine within the coccyx. The nerve endings that sprawl out from this point actually go in the posterior part of the body, so alongside the tailbone. The energy is not just from the hips outward, it actually is more of a downward energy. The feet can also be associated with the root chakra. Now the gland here, we talked about the endocrine system earlier. The endocrine system in this section is associated with our adrenal glands. Now, the adrenal glands are located on top of the kidneys, and they actually release the hormones that regulate our metabolism, they regulate our immune system, they regulate the blood pressure, and which is also associated with our ability to respond to stress. So you can see if there was any malfunctions to show up and along the adrenal glands, that can cause a lot of issues throughout the body and psychologically. Along with that, on the physical level, the root chakra is also associated with the large intestines. Obviously our kidneys, that's what the adrenal glands rest on. The bladder, the genitals, our structure, our bone structure, also associated with our blood. So if you can think about how does your root chakra speak to you as you are right now? Do you have any symptoms or malfunctions that you are currently working with that says that the root chakra may be out of balance, or perhaps that it's feeling great and you feel good in the root chakra here? I'd like to just take a moment to close your eyes and observe what's really showing up for you before diving into the malfunctions that can show up here. Any kind of thumping or twitching, just take note. Now when the energy system is out of balance, that can show up on our anamaya kosha on a physical level. Some of the physical malfunctions that can show up when the root chakra is out of balance is things like hemorrhoids, things like constipation, sciatic nerve. Have you ever heard someone say, oh, a pain in the butt? Yeah, that would be associated with the root chakra as well. Now, since the root chakra is also associated with our bone structure, arthritis, osteoporosis, those are symptoms that can show up within the unbalanced root chakra as well. And since the energy of the root chakra goes downward, troubles within the knees and the feet, also a symptom. Now, commonly you may hear that the root chakra is associated with the color red. Now, let's just pause there. When we say that a chakra is associated with a color, that is more of a modernized way of looking at the chakras. It's not necessarily 100% accurate. If you think about the root and what that's all associated with, I could see the connection on a physical level with blood being associated, our bone structure being associated. I can see that, but also just kind of go with whatever shows up as you go inward, or maybe take some of these guided meditations. Whatever shows up for you, that is the right color for you. Now, I imagine in my own as more of like a maroon, that's why I'm wearing this shirt today, or sometimes even a brown color shows up when I visualize the root chakra. Just kind of go with the flow. Now, the sense that is associated with the root chakra is our sense of smell. If you think about our evolution as a human being, our first sense when we enter the world is the sense of smell. You think about a baby at its mother's breast searching for milk. It can't go on touch or sight or anything like that. We're just going on the sense of smell. So that is the first sense that we associate the root chakra with. Now, the element of the root chakra is earth. Really important factor here, the earth. What is beneath your feet? Where do we come from and grow from? Now, these points can come into play when we're looking to balance out the chakras later. If you find something that's unbalanced, we're going to come back to that information and see what can we do, what can we work with. So what about the psychology associated with the root chakra, Muladhara? Now, I find this pretty interesting because what shows up physically, what senses you have, can all reflect on what shows up psychologically. Everything going on the inside shows outward in some way, shape, or form. The challenge associated with the root chakra is fear. The basic need here is survival. Just think about it. What are the basic needs that we have in order to survive? We need food. We need water. We need shelter. We need a foundational structure to support us. When those things are out of whack, physical malfunctions are going to arise. Psychological malfunctions are going to rise. So what does that look like? When we are balanced in the root chakra, we have a sense of belonging. We feel safe. The basic needs are met. We have a home, we have food to eat, we have water to drink. Hopefully we have friends and family that support us and we feel connected. We have a place, a sense of belonging. When those basic needs are not met, we have some unbalances to work with. Now, deficient energy, low energy within the root chakra is going to show up as a disconnect. Feeling like the black sheep or that you don't quite fit in. Not sure what your place is. Other psychological malfunctions that might show up is resistance, defensiveness, unwilling to change. So that would be low energy. Like if the wheel of energy was spinning in the root chakra, it would be really slow. So if you can imagine slow energy, that can show up as sluggishness, as laziness. You can kind of use your own logic on what does that mean when there's low energy. Now, just as there could be a low energy, something moving pretty slow, we can also have excessive energy. Too much energy within the root chakra. That can lead to imbalances as well. Now, an unbalanced chakra at the root that's overactive, spinning too fast, if the challenge here is fear, what does that mean when the energy is flowing too fast? It can create a lot of worrisome, a lot of anticipating the future and going too far into all the possibilities that could go wrong. Fear of losing your basic needs here. Too much energy within the root chakra. When there's too much energy there, we could also have weight gain. If the nervous system is saying, hey, we're not going to survive, we need to kick it up, we need to hang on to all of our nutrients, that can prevent you from metabolizing food and could actually hold on to weight. That same psychological appearance can show up as hoarding, physically hoarding, whether that's food, material goods, or money. An over excess of hoarding can show up in this chakra. So if you can just take a moment, pause here, and journal, like, how do you think your chakra is? How do you think it's balanced? Are we pretty stable here? Do you see signs that it might be underactive or perhaps overactive? Take a moment to reflect. Now, one of the things that I have personally used is when I felt like my root chakra was completely underactive, I resorted to cooking. And I thought about, okay, since the element here is the earth, and I'm thinking about grounding, what are some foods that come from the ground? Thinking beets, onions, carrots, potatoes? Is there maybe a meal that you can make out of this? Some people like to get into the earth. They like to work outside with their hands and gardening. What is it for you that shows up as, this is an exercise that I can add in to balance out the root chakra? Use a little bit of your own intuition and logic. There's not really a wrong answer. I'm here to give you suggestions. However, if something else shows up for you, go with it.